I'm Spencer,
Today.
and this is The Itch, and we're here to review The Last Guardian on the PS4. So for those of you who don't know, this is the spiritual successor, or another part of the story of Shadow of the Colossus and Ico, made by the same people.
Oh, snaps.
That's a PS2 legend right there. This game was supposed to come out on the PlayStation 3. Never did. A lot of people apparently bought the PS3 so they could get this game, and then, yeah. Kind of got the short end of the stick.
I guess they'll have to settle for Uncharted.
Ugh.
Damn
How dare
that
they.
game.
So this game finally came out for the PlayStation 4, and it is a doozy.
It's a doozy? Why is it a doozy, Spence? Tell me about the story, man.
Alright, so in this game you play as a little boy.
What's his name?
I don't know.
The boy!
The boy. The kid. It's JD!
Oh my god!
And
I can tell he looks like got the same tattoos.
you run into a little animal. You don't know where you are, and you stumble across an animal. And by little animal, I mean he's quite big.
Yeah.
He's the Clifford, the big red dog of dogs. But he's also not really a dog.
Or a cat.
Or a cat.
Or a bird.
Or bird. He's some creepy amalgamation of all of them.
An abomination is what we call it.
Yeah, yeah. And he's tied up, and eventually you gotta set him free.
Yeah.
And he becomes your friend like any dog would.
Or cat.
Or cat.
Or bird.
Or bird. Or any amalgamation of all of them. Or abomination. Yeah. So, you have to take him around town trying to get out of this huge, weird place that you don't know about.
In which you're both sort of captive.
Yeah.
Held down by the man.
The man's holding you down. Yeah, just like most of the rap songs I've heard.
Yes. 49 Cent is
a
beast.
So you're trying to get out of this place, and you use each other's skills to help you through it. So he's huge. He can sort of glide a little bit. He can jump really high. And you climb on him, and he helps you through that. And you can push things, jump on things, climb
And
things.
actually use your brain.
Yeah. So the meat of this game comes from you basically raising an animal. And it's building that connection. That's why this game is hard to just rate on a simple scale of gameplay.
Right.
Because the game isn't necessarily 100% about gameplay. It's about that connection you form with this other creature and trying to grow with him.
Right.
So, if this sounds pretentious at all, it's just this
And
game.
tip your fedoras.
Yeah, this game is a bit more
Roll
of an
up
art
that
piece.
pinky.
I will say, as immediate negatives, the frame rate has issues.
Oh god.
The camera is, if you remember Shadow of the Colossus, it's in that category of bad. It's honestly, it might even be worse.
I think they found a way to program it to be worse.
Yeah.
That's part of what they were going for. The delay was for that. Actually.
Yeah, the delay is so that they can make sure that camera is
It's worse.
just so it sucked just
Yeah.
enough. When you actually turn like a full, I don't know, 270 degrees or something, it actually resets the camera. So you'll constantly turn back, and if you're trying to literally turn it in a way that you want it and doesn't want you to turn that way, the camera will keep turning, resetting, turning, resetting, turning, resetting, ad nauseum. And you will get sick, just like we were sick.
You will get fucking sick. Yeah. The stream has us sick as fuck. So if
Yeah.
you watch that, we appreciate you. But god damn it.
Yeah, you're seeing us at our worst.
Sick, tired, and playing a game where a fucking animal doesn't want to listen to you.
Yeah, that's the other part, is the animal doesn't always listen to you.
Whatever.
And that's programmed frustration, which I actually understand and appreciate, but I know that a lot of people might not appreciate that. Sometimes the animal doesn't do what you tell it to do, because it's an animal that has to think. And this creates that bond where you're like, okay, I don't fully trust this animal, I don't fully understand him, but he is a living sentient being.
Yeah.
And I think that connection is really important. And despite the frustration that goes into it, it made me appreciate him all the more when at the end of the game, which you never got to, but at the end of the game, he actually responded pretty much all the time.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, I know it's the picking up the pace.
Yeah.
In the game, but it's actually interesting. A game design choice that they chose was to. I mean, it's in every game where they kind of have you as not speaking English, because if you're not speaking English, you can't really say shit to the guy that can't understand you.
Right.
Because you can't understand yourself. So what the fuck is anyone saying, really? Imagine waking up in China and there's a German right next to you that only speaks German, and you only speak Ukrainian when you used to speak English.
Yeah.
Welcome.
How confused are you right now?
Yeah.
So, I think it's a brilliant gameplay design. There's some flaws to it, but it's also definitely not for everybody.
Okay.
On that aspect, we'll get more into that in the pros and cons.
Yeah.
Graphically, this game's a mixed bag. I think personally, it's really strong in the art style. You can see flaws in the graphics when the lighting isn't always there.
Yeah.
It's a little bit low res. I would say this game is a really good looking PlayStation 3 game. You can throw in your 2 cents.
Thank you.
I'm just saying, that's my opinion. You might not share it.
Well, no, we did point out the fact that lighting does really bring to light some of the best graphical features.
That was
of the
really
game.
good, JD.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I liked it.
I'll almost forgive you for being condescending.
Oh.
But until then, there's a lot of that going on. However, one of the best things that I think about the game is when you're outside, which also means one of the worst things is when you're inside. Because when you're outside, there's a lot of shit to see. There's a lot of weird structures being built. You're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And then when you're inside, it's kind of like this
Dark, dank, narrow. That's where the camera gets bad.
and it's like being born again, you know? It's just dark, dank, and it smells like shit. And someone slaps you when you come out.
That's rough.
And then you rip something out of your belly button.
But yeah, when you're outside,
How am I gonna eat?
when you're outside, that's when the lighting effects, when the sun is like on the feathers and
And you're
fur.
like,
The moments where
nice.
he's jumping, it lets you see how he's jumping, and you're riding on him. Those moments are amazing.
yeah.
Wow, breathtakingly beautiful. So it's a mixed bag with the graphics.
Right.
I think it's a good art style. I think they could have gone a little stronger with the textures.
I think the fact that they have the two main characters as split up art styles makes it kind of really defines how separated they are. They still come together. Sound-wise, we're not really hearing too much in the way of music all the time.
It's very quiet.
Here and there's a little bit of music. A lot of times when you're up in high altitude areas outside, you're hearing the whooshing. Or when you're jumping anywhere, you're hearing the little bird.
I think when they
abomination.
go the quiet route in a game, it can make the moments where there is sound much more powerful.
That's
so
true.
I think this game did a good job of it. I just wish there was a little bit more music. Is that wrong to say?
No, because you kind of want to. It's good to have that sense of music because I really got a Chrono Crossy vibe from it. Mediterranean-esque kind of
Like
thing.
a little somber.
Yeah, and I wanted to see some of that. And there were times when like the action was getting like intense. You're like, oh, is that music? But outside of that, you're not really seeing that too much. So it sucks.
All right, what about the pros and cons of this game?
Pros. The game is released.
We have it.
It's out. Ah! There is there's an interesting kind of character study of the dynamics between two characters who can't communicate with each other. There, that I think if you're into kind of exploring that kind of dichotomy or whatever, you're gonna pick up on and you're gonna enjoy it.
Graphically, I think this game is really strong. I wish it was stronger technically, because I know a lot of people will care about that.
Yeah.
I wish it were stronger technically, but as is, it's a strong art style that really defines it. So
Right.
that's beautiful to look at.
There's a good amount of attention to detail in some instances, usually with the interaction.
If you played Shadow of the Colossus, you know what the buildings they have that style to them.
Yeah.
That just looks like you kind of just want to look at them because they're so catchy.
Yeah. And some of like the technology.
The story also gets a little bit interesting later, but it's very light. Like you have to, again, like this series is known for, you kind of aren't given a whole lot.
You have to put it together yourself.
But I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. Cons.
Technical issues. The frame rate is a bad thing. It wasn't as bad as what I've heard. Some people say it got to unplayable
I think that's
levels.
pretentious.
I don't think it got that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there were parts where it slowed down. I don't think it killed it.
Right. I think another con would probably have to be occasional pacing issues, and that's usually because the way that they have this AI and they go, hey, you got to learn to have a relationship with him, and progress at his rate, that's fine. But they built the game to progress at a specific rate that isn't aligned with the rate of the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, where there's times where you're like, what am I supposed to do? Like in the water scene, oh god, the water temple.
We were there for like an hour.
Yeah. You're realizing, oh, I'm supposed to not command him to do something. I'm supposed to let him do something or whatever, instead of command left and right, which is what you're so used to in the game. So I think they could have done a little bit more work in that regard because it affects
more hints
pacing.
would have been nice.
Yeah.
And they do have a hint system.
And then it goes away.
It goes away pretty much towards the end.
And
which is where we needed it.
What the fuck? Yeah. But bottom line, how much did you? Or do you have any more comments?
No, I think that's good.
Bottom line, how much did you say?
This is very difficult to put a price on this game.
$40.
I would say about 30. To the casual player.
Okay, don't let me finish.
Okay, go for it.
I got 40, right?
40?
I got 40, fam. Because if you're interested in experience or something along those lines, you want to be taken places. You want something that you can play and be like, wow, and write a book on it. $40. If you're just like,
well, somebody asked us in the chat.
Yeah, this or Watch Dogs. I was like,
yeah. Watch Dogs 2 or Last Guardian. It's like, oh god, I don't even know how to answer that question.
Yeah. If you're into Call of Duty, just don't get this game.
Yeah, don't come close.
So that's kind of where it's at. It has a niche. It has a demographic.
I would say if you play Shadow of the Colossus and Nico and you love those games and wanted to continue that story or that legacy, I mean, $60 is fine. You've been waiting for it. It's fun and it's an experience that you can remember. So that's great. If you're not into that whole thing, I'd probably avoid it entirely. Or if you want that, like a really emotional, powerful experience that you'll carry with you, $30 or $20 or something. It'll get that at some point. Not as quick as I think other games might.
And there you have it.
Cool. I'm Spencer.
JD.
This is the Itch.
And aren't you surprised this game came out?
Look like a surfer.
We got it. Keep going. You got it. No way.
That's majority. What a piece of shit.
Me?
No, him.